All right, everyone, what's worse than being a Democrat right now and being seen as sort of a lawless, anarchic, anti-establishmentarian who favors criminals over their victims? Being a 90s era tough on crime neoliberal. The problem, this is a problem for more than one candidate in the 2020 field. Now, Trump is aiming at Biden because he's the front runner. He wants to cause chaos in the race. He's going to aim at the person who has the most voters basically supporting him. It's just a strategic measure. I don't think that Trump is worried about running against Biden at all. I think he wants that to appear the case because he knows Biden would wheeze his way up on the podium. Trump would run rings around him, bring up Biden's past, the Me Too shit, and look at the economy here versus under Biden and Obama, and he wins re-election. He's not afraid of Joe Biden. Joe Biden, of all people, I just can't fucking take him seriously. I can't take the Democrats seriously right now. Look at the candidates they're fielding. The second place finisher right now in their primaries is an avowed socialist. Third place isn't Warren in third now, I think. There's a person who lied for 30, 40 years about her ethnicity and has the strategic sense of a fucking dish rag. This is hilarious. These are the people that they're trying to vet to go up against Trump. It'll probably end up being Biden. He'll be forced to choose a younger, farther left individual as his running mate, and people will vote against him based on that fact alone. All the business Dems that would have supported him will probably flock back to Trump because they'll say, oh, well, we're basically one feeble heartbeat away from having a socialist in office. No thanks. Fuck the Democrats. I think that they'll lose by a bigger margin than they did in 2016 at this rate. Unless something significant changes, they lose in 2020. I can tell you that much. But Trump is undermining him by pointing out that much like Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, he was a tough-on-crime Democrat back in the 80s and 90s, which is true. A lot of these people that pretend, like the neoliberals pretend to be on the left in order to get votes. Ultimately, though, they're really not. They don't care about criminal justice reform. Trump has done more in office to promote criminal justice reform, get simple offenders, nonviolent offenders, drug offenders out of prison and back into the public. Trump has done more. As supposedly an evil, despicable racist, and these are largely, when we're talking about simple drug possession, overwhelmingly minority incarceration, something like 80%. It's incredible. Trump has done more for criminal justice reform in every possible demonstrable way than any of the Democrats that are currently running, bar none. Absolutely. The only person who stands out there a little bit is Bernie Sanders, simply because he never votes in favor of any law that's going to increase any form of sentencing. Mainly because he just wants to, I guess, grow his weed or something. It's funny, John Boehner's the big weed head now. He's the one that's making millions off of marijuana. John fucking Boehner, former head of the House Republicans, is now one of the major weed growers in the United States. Isn't that great? Things you never would have expected 5 or 6 years ago. But the problem is that some of these laws that were passed in the 90s, like the idea, Hillary Clinton alludes to this when she talked about super predators. The idea was that especially in the inner cities with regards to crack and heroin and stuff, you were getting a culture of criminality that needed to be broken. The idea was that if you incarcerated early and for extended periods, and you could shock the system a little bit, you could shock the person out of their criminal lifestyle. The idea was essentially that if you went in hard enough and you were really tough on them, and then showed them a little mercy afterwards, that they would come, they'd be like an obedient animal at that point. You pet them on the head and stuff. You would have whipped the criminal out of them, and it's really a plantation methodology when you think about it. And it was invented by the Democrats. This is the same people that brought you, like, FCC censorship, Tipper Gore and the Housewives of America sort of bullshit. The Democrats did all this shit, and people think it was the Republicans. Oh, those evil, mean Republicans. They hate black people, they hate... No. It was the Democratic Party that engineered this. They did it primarily as a wedge issue, Clinton era especially. It was one of the ways in which they won back areas that had gone for people like Ronald Reagan based on economics, because we were going through a lot of crime waves at the moment. Now, those tough-on-crime laws never worked. In fact, all it did was create the actual culture of criminality, because now you took someone who, they dealt a little weed, they snorted a little coke, little Jimmy, he had some mushrooms or something. Now you put him in a jail cell with inbred Jed the carjacker. Now little Jimmy knows how to jack a car. When little Jimmy gets out as a felon, it's going to be very difficult for him to get a job now, isn't it? Oh, he's still addicted to coke. He's still going to deal weed to get by, but he needs those wheels. Oh, wow, these are worth way more than dealing a few bags of weed. Thank you, inbred Jed. That's how it actually happens. And Trump is trying to break that actual cycle. Look, between Trump's prison reform and the slow ending of the drug war and the rise of internet culture, giving people more social interaction and maybe catharsis, I think crime will keep dropping for some time. And the increased prevalence of guns helps too. Nobody wants to be a burglar in a neighborhood where, it's basically like playing chicken with death at any given time you burgle someone's house. Is grandma packing heat or not? Let's find out at 4 a.m. That's basically the other part of it. But Trump undermining Biden in this way could work. I think what he wants to do, I think he doesn't mind if Biden's his opponent any more than he minds if most of these morons are. The people that he would be actually afraid of running against, I think, are on the bottom of the heap right now. Someone like Gabbard could create a problem for him potentially, in all honesty, if she had any traction, but she's polling at 1%. Now, that just shows the stupidity of the Democrats in supporting people like Biden and Sanders who are non-viable, or crazy people like Warren or something like that, over people that are more maybe sane. Even Buttigieg looks like a sane man at times compared to a lot of these people. That should scare these folks. It should scare the business Democrats how your party is devolving so much. I think the strategy will pay off. Beating on Biden is a good thing. Trump uses the term Sleepy Joe because it rhymes with Creepy Joe. There's no other reason. There's no reason to call him sleepy. He's not that low energy and a little bit slurred sometimes due to his dementia meds or alcoholism or whatever. But other than that, he's doing well for a dude who's, 76 years old. That's not that bad, It could be worse. It's funny when a person who's, would be nearing 80 on election day, it's funny when that's the leader of a political movement at the moment. Simply because he happens to have been vice president during, times that at least the Democrats thought were decent. But then again, their idea of decent was 7% unemployment and the slow decline of GDP and basically giving it up to the world and being just another nation. That's the Democrats' idea. That and putting people on the plantation, literally and figuratively. They love prison slave labor. The prison complex probably votes Democrat now. Especially since they want felons to be able to vote in prison. That's just another way for them to graft. Oh, hey, yeah, you can have your voting form. Oh, I'm waiting for that pack of cigarettes. I don't fucking see it, dude. You're not getting this voting form. What are they going to do? Complain? Tell their lawyer about it? Start a civil rights investigation into the U.S. prison complex? Fuck you if you think that that's actually going to happen. These people get put in prison for extended sentences for minor things. Things in many cases shouldn't be criminal. All they get used as slaves. That's what it's about. Trump is doing the actual reforming. Fuck the Democratic Party. They just want to grandstand about it and pretend that we have mercy and the Republicans want to put you in jail because you're black. Now, bullshit. Absolutely bullshit. That's about all. Peace out.